In the humid summer of 1976, New York City was already struggling. The city faced financial difficulties, rising crime rates, and a sense of fear that seemed to hang in the air. But nothing would prepare the residents for the wave of terror that was about to unfold. A man, later revealed as David Berkowitz, would forever be remembered as the Son of Sam, the name he himself gave to taunt the police and the public. Berkowitz was not a man who stood out in a crowd. He blended in with his neighbors, holding a regular job and living quietly in his apartment. But beneath the surface, he was battling with personal struggles, paranoia, and an obsession that soon transformed into deadly violence. On July 29, 1976, his first attack shocked the city. Two women were sitting in a car, enjoying a summer evening, when Berkowitz approached with a gun and opened fire. One victim died instantly, and the other was left injured. It was the beginning of a string of attacks that would terrify New Yorkers for over a year. The police initially struggled to link the crimes. Random locations, varied victims, and a killer who seemed to vanish into thin air after each attack made the investigation extremely difficult. Yet, as the pattern grew, authorities realized they were facing a serial attacker. Couples sitting in cars, young women with long hair, and unsuspecting individuals going about their daily lives were all potential targets. Fear swept across the city. Women rushed to cut or dye their hair, couples avoided being alone in cars, and entire neighborhoods began to live under a shadow of suspicion and dread. As the killings continued, the man behind the gun began to play psychological games. Letters started arriving, written in a strange, unsettling style, signed by Son of Sam. In one letter, Berkowitz taunted the police, mocking their efforts to capture him and promising more bloodshed. These letters were published in newspapers, further fueling the public's terror. It wasn't just the killings that frightened people, it was the sense that this unknown man was watching, waiting, and enjoying the chaos he created. Investigators poured every resource into solving the case. Thousands of tips came in, but each lead seemed to dissolve into frustration. At the time, New York's police force was stretched thin, dealing with citywide problems in addition to the growing demand to find the Son of Sam. Still, detectives worked tirelessly, analyzing ballistics, interviewing witnesses, and connecting scattered pieces of evidence. Slowly, the puzzle began to take shape. The breakthrough came in 1977. A parking ticket placed near the scene of one of the shootings led investigators to David Berkowitz. When detectives arrived at his apartment, they found his car containing evidence that linked him directly to the crimes. Inside his home, they discovered the chilling writings and weapons that confirmed their worst fears. When Berkowitz was arrested, he calmly confessed, admitting to the attacks that had left the city trembling. The trial drew national attention. People were captivated by the quiet man who had terrorized New York for over a year. Berkowitz explained his actions in bizarre ways, at times claiming to have been influenced by strange voices. While psychiatrists debated his mental state, the justice system delivered its verdict. Berkowitz was sentenced to life in prison, ensuring that he would never again walk free. But the story of the Son of Sam left scars far beyond the courtroom. New York City had lived through a nightmare that revealed how fragile safety could be when one man's darkness was allowed to grow unchecked. The killings reshaped the way police handled serial crime, leading to improved communication between departments and greater awareness of how killers might manipulate the media to spread fear. For the families of the victims, however, no amount of justice could erase the pain of their loss. The Son of Sam case continues to be remembered as one of the darkest chapters in New York's history, not only for the violence but for the deep sense of fear it left in its wake. And so, decades later, as we reflect on David Berkowitz and the chaos he created, one question remains: how does an ordinary-looking man living among us transform into a figure of such fear, and could something like this ever happen again in our cities today?